So it took about 5 seconds more before I felt the force of that water to know that I was in real trouble, because there was very little I could do to control what was happening to me. I was just growing weaker and weaker. And after the last one that I went through, which wasn't, the last staircase, but the last waterfall was probably only 3 or 4 that I'd gone over. I was so beat up and so exhausted that I remember, after being spit out of this bottom current and trying to get to the surface, I tried to raise my arms and I couldn't do it. I was spent. So I tried kicking my feet to see if I could kick my way to the surface, and I couldn't even manage that. And I knew at that point that I was going to die. I knew I wasn't going to make it. It was almost the next moment I felt myself leave my body. It was like it was a whoosh. And all of a sudden, I was somewhere where there's no violence, no pain, no struggle for air, no struggle for anything. It was this sort of amorphous, and I would call it sort of a grayish area. And I said to myself, what the hell just happened to me? And as soon as I said that, I sensed the presence of a being near me. And this being was communicating to me telepathically. And I don't know if that's the right term, since we're not in a body, and presumably we don't have a brain. This energy of ours, this spirit, or whatever we want to call it, communicated to me telepathically, saying, "Everything is okay. You are okay, and I'm here to take care of you." And he turned and began to move away from me. And my sense was that this was a male being, and someone who cared about me and that I knew very well. We arrived at this place where I began to view my lifetime from 3 different aspects. I began to experience it, or view the experience of it, from my own viewpoint. I viewed it from this omniscient viewpoint, and I viewed it from the viewpoint of everyone with whom I'd ever interacted. Okay. And this was simultaneous. And I looked I'm going to say it was to my left, my sense was to my left, to see the reaction of this being to the way that I'd behaved. And there was no judgment. It was all about experience. And that's that's what I was there for. And all I got instead was this, I'll call it a wave of unconditional love. And as I went through and completed that review of the years I'd lived at that point, all I felt was love, this overwhelming love. It's love like I don't think it's possible to experience on this planet. And I began to understand that it was actually the creative power of everything. And that I was actually, my sense was, then I began to have all these questions. Why did this have to happen? Why did that have to happen during this life review? And as I asked these questions in my mind, reviewing my life, all the answers would pour into me. And every question that I asked, didn't matter what it was answered fully and completely and satisfactorily. And I knew that where I was, and where we all are actually, was existing within the consciousness of what I will call God. And this God is this absolutely non-judgmental, loving being. And in our Western Christian concepts, we view God as this old man who lives in heaven somewhere way up in the sky, somewhere above us. And, that's a pretty good concept for somebody trying to understand God, I guess. And I think that may be why he is often referred to as our Father. My experience was we're not apart from God. We're actually a part of God. We're these amazing, loving beings who, as we come down to embody, and we choose to do that to gain experience, we forget that. Because what would be the point if we had all the answers coming down here? It's about experience and learning and evolving. So I'm feeling amazingly great. It's like everything, I'm having a great time getting all of my questions answered. And I want to stay there. There was a sense that there was no such thing as right and wrong, but just cause and effect. That we're just sort of here on a stage getting our experiences. Over there, there's no judgment. The only judgment that comes is the assessment of our own lives and what we want to perhaps avoid the next time, which then brought up the aspect of reincarnation, that we're not here just once, that we're here to experience over and over and over again, to get that evolution. So all of this was happening, and it seemed like it was going on for a long time, for a period of time. But then I was told, it's time for you to decide. You can either stay or you can go. The decision is yours. If you stay, however, you have these agreements, contracts, if you will, with others that you embodied with at this time that you wanted to fulfill. And if you choose to stay, of course, those the remainder of those won't be fulfilled, and you're going to want to reestablish those agreements in a future lifetime. And I thought, oh man, I don't want to go back, but I don't want to have to, to me, it was like repeating a grade in school. So I said, okay, reluctantly, I said, I'll go back. And the moment I said that, I was back in my body.